Joining us now, a U.S. international, a winger with Lille, who are currently leading at Ligue 1 in the standings and already a Ligue 1 champion in his days with Paris Saint-Germain, is Timothy Weah. Tim, thank you so much for spending a bit of time with us. As just an American soccer fan, you used to play just down the street, some 20 miles north of where I am today in Miami at West Pines. Obviously, you have grown, and you're growing right before our eyes. We're seeing you develop as the sort of star footballer that you are. So thanks for spending the time with us. But I'm wondering, now you're playing the most minutes you ever have at this level. You're a key piece of a team that is competing for a league title. What are you learning about your game?
Thank you for having me, first of all. Good afternoon to everyone. It's super exciting being a young player and getting so much minutes with a great team that we have now. Last year was really tough with the injuries and everything. So I didn't really get to, explore myself as a footballer and as a player and as an individual. So this year I'm getting the opportunity to do that, and I've been decisive in some games, so that's been great. And I personally, I hope I can just continue scoring and the team can continue winning.
There's been a change in Lille, right? There's an excitement about this club this season, and I'm wondering what the expectations were at the start of the year. Did you see yourselves as title contenders, and if not, have those objectives changed now that we're this deep into the season and here you are top of the league?
I feel like as professional athletes and as players who are a lot of us are used to winning. I feel like when we all came into this team, the club had a mindset that we wanted to stay ambitious, and we wanted to do whatever we can to win games, and everyone is super focused, everyone is tuned in, and our main goal is to continue playing how we're playing, take it step by step, but also, stay at that high level of football. And, that's where we're getting at the moment. We're happy with the way we're playing, and we're super excited to see what the future has for us.
But you're dodging my question. Did you see yourself as a title contender at the start of the season, and have the objectives changed?
I mean, football, you never know what's going to happen. But, with this group of players and this coaching staff that we had, our goal was to, be at the top, and that's where we are at the moment. So, we're happy with that, and we just want to continue doing what we're doing.
Of course. We're actually paying a little extra attention to Lille this season, not just because you're top of the table, but because you and your teammate Jonathan David are flying the North American flag right now in the French top flight. You're certainly not the first American to play in Ligue 1, but you've already won the title, and now you're competing at the top once more. Two exciting sort of CONCACAF-born players in yourself and in Jonathan. I'm wondering, what is that relationship like? And not just with Jonathan David, but there seems to be this really positive vibe with Jonathan Bamba, with Ikonen. There's a really good feeling there, it seems, in the Lille attack. Can you talk about that a bit?
Yeah, first off with Jonathan, I knew when he was coming in that we were going to be, close. We were going to be good friends because we're both from North America. And, he's such a down-to-earth guy, and we just got along immediately. And it shows when we're in training, we're laughing, we're playing around, we're joking on the field, we have that connection. And as well as the other players, this group, there's really no ego. So, everyone gets along, and, it's just wonderful. You come into training, you're happy, and that shows in our games. A lot of unselfish players, and, everyone plays for the team. And I think that's what really has gotten us so far.
It's been a strange year for everyone because of the pandemic, and some of us set some unrealistic goals for ourselves. For example, I have a very expensive bicycle that is now just a piece of furniture in my living room. Do you have any failed pandemic hobbies that you're willing to tell us about?
Really not hobbies, but just, having my family out here. A lot of my family live in New York, so with the travel bans, they're not allowed to come out and spend some time with me, and me spend some time with them, and just enjoy life and enjoy the moment, enjoy how happy everyone is and how excited everyone is for the season. And that's what I miss the most. And I wish I can go back and enjoy time with them. But we have to get through it, and it's a hard time for everyone, not just myself. So I'm happy.
You didn't try to pick up the guitar or start playing the drums or anything along those lines over there?
For me, it's really just video games.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Call of Duty, anything I can get my hands on, pretty much. It's a boring time, so if I can get my hands on Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto, FIFA, I'm doing it.
Fair enough. Again, we'll wait for some of these questions to come in. Jonathan Tannenwald, We'll begin with Jonathan Tannenwald from the Philadelphia Inquirer. It's related to, well, here's the question. It's been an up and down season for you with injuries over the last year and a half, 2 years really, as we all know. How are you feeling at this point, and how much have you been talking to Greg Berhalter, U.S. national team coach, about the national team World Cup qualifying, knowing that the qualifiers loom later this year?
So yeah, to start with the injury, it was a tough year. My first real injury that I've ever had, and being that it was a season where we wanted to do something with that season last year, I wanted to get back as quick as possible to try to help the team, but unfortunately that didn't go my way, and I got I re-injured and got the same injury, relapsed on the same thing, and then we decided to do surgery and take the time off to really get back to full fitness and get to that level I was when I was playing at PSG. And we got there thanks to the help of one of the best trainers I had. His name is Patrick in New York. He works for HSS, and from the national team they worked with me to get back, and I'm feeling great now. I'm back with full fitness. I keep in contact with Coach Greg, of course. Whenever I score, whenever I do something great, he's always there texting me and encouraging me. So as a player, we are ambitious to be with the national team all the time. So hopefully with the performances that I've been having, and hopefully I keep on doing what I'm doing, and hopefully I can get a little spot on the national team.
It's an exciting time for Americans abroad, without question. I'm wondering, what's that like when you guys get together for camp, and here's, Serginho Dest from one big club, Weston McKennie from another. What's that vibe like, knowing that you guys are now lifting the reputation of American players worldwide to a level that hasn't been there in the past?
It's great. Everyone's so happy for each other. Seeing Christian at Chelsea, Serge at Barca, Gio, he's young, doing his thing. Weston, Tyler, all those guys. It's amazing to see, because myself, I grew up with Serge and Tyler. We were on the same team. Me and Tyler and I playing on the same team with Red Bulls. And coming from MLS to seeing us striving in Europe is amazing. And when we get together, it's like it's just a great camp. We have fun. We enjoy each other's company, and I feel like eventually, as we continue to gel, as we continue to play together, the football is going to be amazing. And as everyone does their thing in their clubs, we're going to be playing top football, and hopefully in the future we can bring a cup home.
Here's a question from Connor Fleming for the 18. You're part of a young squad at Lille with players that have been dealing with the weight of the expectation for some time now. Yourself, Jonathan David, Renato Sanchez being good examples. How do you think that'll benefit the club moving forward at the top of the table, while also competing in both the Coupe de France and the Europa League?
I think it's great. A group of young guys who have a lot to prove. We're all super hungry. I want to speak on Renato as well. Having a tough time at Bayern. He wanted to start all over again. He came here, and look at the season he's had so far. He's having a great time here. Everyone's having a great time, and as a group, we feel great, and everyone's just hungry to keep going and getting more.
Here's a question from Jonathan Johnson of CBS, who asks, what lessons would you pass on to your fellow Americans just arriving in Europe now?
First, I'd really just say, stay strong. You're gonna have to make sacrifices. You're gonna have to be away from your family, the things you love to do, but make that sacrifice and do something that's great. Do something that's gonna put you on the map, and just be yourself and show the world what you can do.
Incredible. Is there a sense of I don't want to say vertigo, but what is the difference between a season like last, when you're competing for a European place, and a season like this one, when you look at the table and you're being chased by one of the best Lyon teams since their 7 straight titles, Paris Saint-Germain with some of the most exciting world stars in football, and even a Monaco that are still very much in this title hunt? What's the difference between a season like last and a season like this, other than the minutes you're playing?
I feel like last season was a bit of a adjusting season for us. Being in the Champions League, a lot of us have never ever played Champions League, so it was really interesting. It was just kind of a learning experience, and we had to take some losses to play how we're playing now. And I feel like last year was a fairly new team, a lot of new guys, so we're just getting used to each other. And I feel like now we're playing great football. We're listening to what the coach has to say, and the group is playing well. And I feel like now that we're at the top, we have to be alert and continue, have that urgency and continue playing with the level that we're playing at. And, Leon's not making it easy for us, but we're trying.
Got a question here from Jaime Macias of beIN Sports in our Spanish channel, who wants to know, playing on the Ligue where your father became a top star, was that always a goal for you? What role did your father's experience in French football have in your decision to go there?
Played a huge role. Everyone thought that, since my dad played in France, that it would be a good start for me. Not as much as an adjustment as, Spain would be or Italy would be. And, it's worked so far. I'm having fun. I speak fluent French. So I feel great here. Here's like my second home. And, my father has played a huge role in everything that I do, as well as my mother. She's really what pushes me. And, I feel great, and, I want to do great things as well. So to follow in his footsteps is amazing. So I hope I can continue making my parents proud and just make my family proud in general and continue doing great stuff with this club and in the future.
Do you ever get tired of getting questions about George Weah?
Never ever. Because I'm proud. He's paved the way for me, and I'm so proud of what he's done, coming from a third world country like Liberia, where there was nothing. The odds were against him, and he came to Europe, did what he had to do, and won a Ballon d'Or. That's amazing. So I wish that I can just do great things and continue to make him proud.
Bar set pretty high. Garrett Richardson of Black Arrow FC here in the U.S. Writes, you're part of a swell of young black talent on the U.S. men's national team recently. What would you attribute to this rise in black talent, and how can the U.S. men's national team and U.S. soccer continue to build off of this promising diversity?
I feel it's great, and I'm super happy to see a lot of black players doing their thing, as well as coming overseas as well. So I feel like it's something that is going to be great for the future. In the past, we haven't had that much black players, but I think it's growing. And what's happening in the States, what has been happening in the past in the States, with racism and things of that sort. I feel like this is the time that the black players need to take a stand and work 100 times harder and show the world what we can do. And I feel like eventually it's going to happen for us, and we're all working super hard, and hopefully a couple of us can do some great things for the national team and for our club teams.
The chat has gone pretty meta now, because we have Aaron West, who I know has interviewed you in the past, asking a question via Jonathan Johnson, who asked the question previously. And Aaron West wants to know, how important are music and fashion to you and your off-field identity?
I knew he was gonna ask that. It's my boy. Shout out to Aaron. But yeah, fashion plays a huge part in my life as well as football. When I'm not on the field, I like to look nice. I'm a huge sneakerhead. I love sneakers. So fashion is huge. Growing up in Paris for the past 5 years, I'm around fashion. That's the fashion capital. So it's always played a huge part. My dad was huge on fashion. So I think that's where I get it from. But fashion and just street culture, growing up in New York, that's what I was, that's what I came up around, and that plays a huge part in my life, and I it's really important to me. I take so much pride in my fashion and my kicks.
American hip hop or French hip hop?
American hip hop, of course.
That's always the right answer. It's a question from Tim Standard of beIN Sports. Wants to know, your coach Christophe Galtier has been having enormous success with Lille, but outside of France, we don't know much about him. How would you describe Galtier's style? Coach
has an amazing, game plan. Loves to attack, loves to defend, but his football is based on teamwork. What you can do for your teammates, whether you're an attacker or a defender. How can you help the attack? How can the attackers help the defense? And I think that's great. For me, he's one of the best coaches in the world, one of the best I've ever worked with. He's like a father figure to all of us, and I couldn't ask for a better coach.
It's your last question for you, Tim. Connor Fleming wants to know, what are your initial impressions of Eugenio Pizzuto? Have you spoken with him about potential Mexico versus the U.S. clashes this coming summer?
Yeah, that's my boy. We have little nicknames for each other. No,
you gotta share those.
I call him Duku because that's what they call him on the Mexican national team, and he calls me Tecatito because I watch Corona from Porto, so that's one of my favorite attackers. So he calls me Tecatito on the field. But fun guy. We always play around. I speak a little Spanish, so I always tease him. He teases me. Loving guy. He came here, adjusted real quick. He's starting to speak French. So great kid overall. And we talk about Mexico, USA clashes all the time. North American boys. So I can't wait to play him, and he's going to be a huge talent.
Timothy Weah, U.S. international, Ligue 1 champion, current Ligue 1 leader with Lille at the top of the table in French football. Thanks so much for chatting with us. Always love to hear from you, and best of luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you. Same to you.